Who should ideally be at the pre-construction conference? And I mean this on a construction project. In this video, I'm going to cover who should be there and why, and a little bit about what the pre-construction conference is. If you're into that, stay with us on this video. Okay, so welcome here. I talk a lot about pre-construction. I actually use the term in three different ways. Pre-construction to me is everything from concept design to the CDs and then signing a prime agreement and then getting an NTP, notice to proceed. Any of the work that we do to plan the project and to support the designers and to get on budget, I call that pre-construction. A pre-construction conference happens anywhere from smaller project, okay, fine. 5, 10, 15, 30, 60 days before the overall project starts. That can happen with the owner, or sometimes if there isn't a direct owner presence, it happens with the inspector, the project inspector. And then I talk about pre-construction meetings, which are sometimes called preparatory meetings or pre-installs. The pre-con meetings are where 3 weeks before the work starts, the GC is meeting with the trade to prepare the work. What I'm talking about now is the pre-construction conference before the overall job starts. And so the purpose here is to align everybody, to basically say, you know, here's the owner, architects, governing entity, inspectors, and we need to orient the contractor and by extension the trades to how the project's going to run. So we're going to talk about project management systems, how inspections work, you know, how to take care of the neighborhood, a lot of really key items that have to be clarified. It's super important to attend this conference, and how you start out is probably how the job's going to go. So make sure that you're being very careful with this. So there's some people that should be there, and I wouldn't hold back on this. I would really get everybody who needs to be there. Let's go through these one by one. The owner or the client representative really needs to explain the expectations for project management systems. And if it hasn't already been done by now, the owner's top 10 and the biggest focus. Right? Is it to keep them off the news? Is it waterproofing? Is it, what is their biggest concern? The owner or the owner's rep needs to be there to make sure that the owner's voice is heard. Second and third, the general contractor, project manager, and superintendent. The project manager, because as Derek Kirkland once said, the project manager reads the owner's mind and the superintendent sees the future, right? So this pairing, one or two in a box rather is how you say it, where the project manager is trying to take care of the client and the super is attempting to keep the job on track by seeing the future. They need to understand how they, as the PM, feed the project and take care of the owner, and how the superintendent receives the resources and implements in the field according to expectations. And so those are the two that will really need to be there, take notes, listen, and make sure that throughout the entire project that we're holding up our end of the bargain. Number 4, I do like to have the field and project engineer there when I can. The PE is going to hear things about how RFIs and submittals are supposed to be handled, owners and trade partners pay applications. And so hearing that firsthand can get some really good buy-in throughout. The field engineer in the pre-construction conference, that's a perfect time to talk about the basis of bearings, existing control, any survey that might be supplied by the owner, the inspector's requirements when it comes to laying out the building, and to get up to speed on the quality process, right? Because a lot of times the field engineers, even though the supers are in control, the field engineers will be a main part of how we execute a project well from a quality standpoint. Number 5, the architect, engineers applicable, or the design team representative. Absolutely key, because in this conference we're going to talk about submittals, we're going to talk about the turnaround time for RFIs, and we're going to talk about the client and the inspector's expectations for how we either do or do not design through submittal, right? And how we actually get that vision carried out in the field, and how we respect the design and the code and the owner's requirements. Number 7, any key trade partners that might need to be involved. I really like to consider having possibly the electrical, mechanical, plumbing trades as a part of this, maybe concrete, maybe framing, any of the driving trades, because, and actually in most of these situations, these trades have worked with these inspectors, these trades have worked with these owners before, and them being a part of it and it being a collaborative environment is key. Sometimes those trades can actually gain you favor Sometimes the owner and the inspectors and the design team will feel more comfortable if they are there. And a lot of times it can then not be lost in translation. If it's the PM or the superintendent passing it along, that's a lot less effective than if they're personally. So it'd really be nice for a couple of those key driving traits to be there in the pre-con conference. And then lastly, any of your corporate support, like if you have a quality or safety support, or if you have a scheduling manager, anybody who will be integral to the process that needs to talk about that specific scope if they're going to have a hand in it or lead it specifically. So these are the people that should be present. Let me mention a couple more. The inspector that's going to be inspecting the project site, the lead inspector should be there 100%, especially like if you're working near an existing facility, the facilities manager for those adjacent buildings, possibly the future facilities manager for your building, and anybody else who has a stake in how this project is going to be run that must be aligned for the project to be successful. That's the key right there. So this is who should be at the meeting. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to turn this into a little blog post and put this into a list. Let's do this right, because if we are going to be on the same page, we have to have a meeting where we can get on the same page, and there has to be a page we can get on. So let's do this right. Please check out the items in the description below. Please comment if you have any questions. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.